Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. If you are somebody who has loved Freya Skye with all of your heart for what must feel like forever, then I think just maybe this could be the YouTube channel for you. And if you do me the honor of giving me at least the next 20 minutes, and I know what you must be thinking to yourself, hey Jonathan Clarke, I don't even know if I got 20 minutes because 20 minutes is a really long time. Well, I promise you guys, if you give me at least the next 20 minutes, I will give you a reason to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Because if you are a fan of Freya Skye like I've been for what feels like forever for pretty much my entire life and my entire career, because over 25 years I've talked about the best of them, but I have never had the honor of talking about someone as beautiful and incredibly talented like Freya Skye is. She is the exemplification of heart and dedication, having everything to do with how much each and every one of you have believed in her. The smile she has put on your faces and giving her a reason to perform is truly unlike anything I've ever had the honor of experiencing in my lifetime. If I could take you back to the Worlds Collide tour, there were so many emotional moments that we experienced together as fans of the Worlds Collide tour and of Descendants and Zombies, because we saw Freya Skye really appreciate these moments she had the chance to share with each and every one of you. It was an opportunity that were very far and in between for stars of Descendants and Zombies, but they really made the most of every opportunity they had to share with each and every one of you, especially when it came to Freya Skye. Because we not only got a glimpse into the life of Nova Bright as one of the characters of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, we got to know Freya Skye for the everyday person that she is. Because underneath her skin, she is just like each and every one of us, because we're all created equal. And that is something that she has always wanted each and every one of us who may have been fans of her, who have ever supported her, to forever and always know and to never ever forget. She's always taking time to relate to each and every one of you, to answer your questions, to do PR, to do interviews, to represent herself for how she wants to be represented, which is extremely difficult to do for an up-and-coming artist like Freya Skye. Believe me, I have seen the best of them come and go in this industry, from Taylor Swift to the Backstreet Boys to NSYNC to Britney Spears. I've seen the best of them come and go, and I've seen a lot of them crack under pressure. But Freya Skye has been able to maintain this positive image for what feels like forever, for representing herself for her, because she knows there's only one you. And that is the one thing, that's one emphatic message that I've often tried to put out there in every video that I've ever recorded, is that there's only one you in this lifetime. And how you want to define your legacy is entirely up to you. Because believe it or not, we all have legacies. And you're saying to yourself, hey Jonathan Clarke, I didn't even know if I got a legacy. Can you tell me more about it? Well, the thing is, if you've ever had a dream or you've ever had a wish that starts with your heart, because your heart makes all of your wishes for you, and some of your dreams come true, I think that everybody has a legacy, and it's all about how you want your legacy to be defined and how you want to be remembered for. And I think that eventually we all do find a light, because everybody does have one. And I know that sounds very reminiscent of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but because I was always a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII, and you're saying to yourself, hey Jonathan Clarke, you must play a lot of video games, don't you? I see your video games there in the back. I've always wanted a Descendants of Zombies video game or a phone game to be released for an app, but that's a different story for a different time, and I'm really excited about the potentiality of Descendants characters finding their way into Fortnite, along with some Zombies characters as well. But the thing is, Cloud was right when you really think about it. Everybody does have a light, and everybody does eventually find it. It may take you longer than some people to find your light, but we all eventually do. And do you think that Freya Skye has found her light? She may have found her purpose, but she is a long way away from ever finding her light. But that doesn't mean that she will never eventually get there, because it has everything to do with each and every one of you and how people like me, myself included, have believed in Freya from the very beginning. I remember seeing Freya on a show produced here on YTV in Canada. It's a Canadian-produced television network. It's called Youth Television, and it was a show called The Next Step. And that's where Freya got one of her first major breaks. She played an over-exaggerated version of herself, although I never did call it an over-exaggerated version of herself. I remember coming home from work on many nights and throwing my keys down on the kitchen counter. And I remember watching the Next Step series and just how appreciative Freya Skye was of this moment, because she really made the most of the opportunity of really putting herself out there. She may have never known how she was going to be responded to, or how she was going to be received, or if she was even ever going to achieve acceptance. But the thing is, each and every one of you fell in love with her so quickly, and then eventually she got her first major movie role, which came at the expense of Nova Bright and Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. She had the opportunity to have dolls and merch released. And I remember these emotional breakdowns she would have when she unboxed her Nova Bright doll for the first time ever. And I thought to myself, man, this is so cool. This is so cool. I remember years ago when I was a really big fan of professional wrestling. So what I would do is I would collect all the professional wrestling action figures, and there were many versions of your favorite wrestler over the years. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, The Undertaker. I had them all, man. And I was very passionate about collecting professional wrestling action figures. So when it comes to things like the Descendants and Zombies dolls or the Descendants and Zombies merch, I had all kinds of professional wrestling t-shirts too, and my favorite wrestlers on the front of them. I can understand how you guys feel about them. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, you were a really big wrestling fan, weren't you? I was. And you know something? In the years that I've been a fan of Disney, I've become even a bigger fan of Descendants and Zombies because I know what it's like to be just like each and every one of you and to be a fan of something and to love something with all of your heart. So if you've ever felt passionate about Freya, Skye, or you've ever felt passionate about whatever you feel passionate about, because many of you are passionate about your favorite Disney characters like Rapunzel from Tangled, Elsa and Anna from Frozen, even Phineas and Ferb. Hey Ferb, what are we going to do today? We got 104 days of summer vacation. What in the name of God are we going to do? And I've often wondered, I've been left wondering what I'm going to do on summer vacation. Actually, this year for summer vacation, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Probably hijack an ice cream truck, sell ice cream to everybody. I don't know. Probably build a roller coaster in my backyard, which I know I've been promising you guys I was going to do for forever. And trust me, I will get around to doing that. I just had to find a contractor who's crazy enough to actually help me construct this kind of thing. You never know how difficult it is. The thing is, whatever you're passionate about, all I've ever wanted each and every one of you to do is continue to follow your passion. Even if your passion is to go out and get beamed up by aliens, anything is possible, because I know aliens became part of the Zombies franchise by Zombies 3. Many people believe that vampires should have happened ever before aliens did, but I thought it was kind of really cool how every supernatural force or every supernatural being eventually found their way into the Zombies franchise trying to achieve acceptance, because that was often the reoccurring theme of the Zombies franchise, and how one could find true love for Descendants. I've loved these themes for forever because they were reoccurring. I think every theme in Descendants and Zombies has been very heart-touching for every fan of Descendants and Zombies, and I think everybody who's ever been a fan of these franchises has taken away something special from them, myself included, because I had never felt more intrigued by how beautiful this story was, especially this beautiful love story that is now being represented and carried through with by Freya, Skye, and Malachi Burton, who are doing a fabulous job as the characters of Victor and Nova, who everybody has very quickly fallen in love with. I would have loved to have been a character in the Zombies franchise. I envision myself, as this guy who was always in these action scenes, kind of like a vampire slayer, kind of like Van Helsing from 2004, like, my job, my life, my curse is to vanquish evil. I would love to do that, wear the black sweater like you see me wear all the time in these videos and be a character that everybody would almost instantly fall in love with, one of those really cool characters with enthusiastic personality, very full of life, very appreciative of the fans. Because believe you me, guys, I would be very appreciative of each and every one of you, and I always take the opportunity to engage with each and every one of you, sign your autographs, have the chance to have meet and greets, and do all this PR for Descendants and Zombies. If there was ever something to be a part of, I would take myself up on the opportunity to do it. I would also love to have my own action figure and my own teddy bear to sell as part of my Descendants Zombies merch line. It would be really cool. I'd have my own website where you guys can buy the Descendants Zombies merch exclusively off of. Of course, Disney Shop would have it too. I think Jonathan Clarke would have a lot of fans if he made it into the Zombies franchise. I would also like to take myself up on the opportunity to get to know Freya, Skye, and all your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars even better than I already do know them. Because many of you who have been subscribed to this YouTube channel for a very long time, the one thing that you should know about Jonathan Clarke is he is very appreciative of how much your Descendants of Zombie stars have meant to each and every one of you. They obviously have had a special place in your heart for forever. And I think until other YouTube creators realize how much of a special place they've held forever and always in your heart, they will never be as popular as Jonathan Clarke, man. Because Jonathan Clarke is hosting the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel in the world that he never created by himself. He created it because of each and every one of you, because of your guys' contributions and how much you have believed in this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel truly has gone on to become everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. And I've had so much fun creating all these videos, which I can only hope that people draw inspiration from, that some way or somehow has always managed to touch your heart and put smiles on each and every one of your faces. Because if I could never put a smile on any fan of Descendants of Zombies' face, then I would feel like my purpose would be defeated. But I think that some way or somehow these videos have been so relatable through the relatable content that I've created to so many wonderful people, because I felt just as passionate as you have about the Descendants and Zombies music. You know, there isn't a day that goes by in my lifetime where I'm not listening to a song such as Life is Sweeter When You Are or Dream Come True. Dream Come True was my favorite song from Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, like many of you felt the same way. And you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, Dream Come True was my favorite song from Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. I also like the song Legends in the Making. Well, the song Legends in the Making was cool too, because it really put into perspective how much of a legacy we each have. We just have to find our purpose in life, and once we find our purpose, once we come upon a purpose that we have in our individual lives, it's all about how we want our legacies to be defined. And I've always wanted to leave a legacy behind for being one of the greatest of all time. And I would love to know that it had something to do with Descendants of Zombies. I had no idea how it was going to be received or responded to by Descendants of Zombies fans. Some way or somehow I just became everybody's favorite host of a Descendants of Zombies podcast, which I wished Disney would have created for each and every one of you and taken the chance on for many, many years. I would love for Disney to call me and say, hey, Jonathan Clarke, we want to sign you to be the host of an official Descendants of Zombies podcast. Man, I would jump at the opportunity, you know, take your guys' phone calls, sign autographs for you, answer your questions about Descendants of Zombies, because there are many people out there who have had their questions unanswered for a very long time. And let's be honest, you guys have deserved to have your questions answered for a very long time. I wish I knew when Descendants 5 and Zombies 5 were going to happen, when they were coming. But rest assured, they are coming, just as sure as superheroes are real. You're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, do you really believe that superheroes are real, like Spider-Man, Batman, Incredible Hulk kind of thing? Yeah, I do, because I've never, ever wanted to shut out anybody's dreams or hopes of superheroes actually being real. You know something? Ever since I was at least 15 years old, and I still do, I still believe that superheroes are real. I've always believed that people like the Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man will kind of just swing down from out of nowhere and save you from obstruction. Because I've always believed in whatever your dream is, to follow through with your dream and to continue to follow your passion. You know something? When Stan Lee passed away about 5-6 years ago in 2019, I believe he was 95 years old, my heart was broken, because I realized that if it was never for Stan Lee, we would have never had the chance to believe in superheroes as much as what we did at the expense of the Marvel Universe. He made true believers out of all of us. And to this day, I still believe that superheroes are real, and I've often encouraged that on my YouTube videos, just as I've encouraged you guys to believe in happily ever after, and that fairy tales do exist. Because I think if there was ever a place that would become real for all of us, where we felt as if we were a part of for forever, it was always Ordon, because of the magic that existed there, because of how every character in Descendants of Zombies had their own individual story. They may have never had the opportunity to tell their story the way they wanted to do, because some characters were often underappreciated in the Descendants franchise. You know, I've often said that when your time on Earth is through and your life is over, that is when you're appreciated more. I really wish that Cameron Boyce would have experienced being honored more in his lifetime than he ever did when he passed away, because when he passed away, he achieved more recognition than ever before. Going back to what I've said before about how everybody has a legacy they eventually leave behind, and that's what they're remembered for. And Cameron Boyce will be remembered for his contributions to the original franchise, how much his character Carlos meant to each and every one of our lives, but it wasn't until his life was over that he gained a greater appreciation. He was often underappreciated during his lifetime, and now he's one of the most celebrated characters of all time, forever and always. And rest assured, on this YouTube channel, his legacy will forever and always live on in my heart, as it will each and every one of yours, because we will continue to honor his legacy. Because I think that a lot of these characters should have had more of an opportunity to tell their stories. I have forever and always believed that Ruby Rose Turner was a character whose story was anything but having been told and completed. I have forever and always loved Ruby Rose Turner for how genuinely sweet the girl was. If there ever was a genuinely sweet person who was ever a member of the cast of Descendants who believed in her character more than anything else in the world, it was Ruby. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, you really love Ruby Rose Turner, don't you? You've said that in like 100 videos, time and time again. For sure I've loved Ruby, because Ruby was the exemplification of kindness, and I've often gave Ruby credit for making me a better person in this lifetime and being kinder to people that I surround myself with every day. I like to believe to this day, from the very first moment I ever laid eyes on Ruby Rose Turner, I would like to believe that I'm a better person and I treat everybody with an equal amount of kindness, and I think we can never have enough opportunities to express kindness and spread an emphatic message of kindness throughout this world, because there are never enough kind people in this world that we see every day. Although kind people do exist, And I've truly believed that there are more kind people out there than ever given credit for, probably yourself included. You see, I don't need to know you to know whether or not you're a great person, because I know that there are great people who watch these videos every day. I know there are great people who take something special away from every video that I've ever had the honor of recording. And I've really put my heart and a lot of money and time that I've invested into Descendants of Zombies because I believed in these franchises more than anybody else ever has who has ever created a video having anything to do with Descendants of Zombies. I really wish there were more opportunities for us to have these conversations so that I could reach out and touch the hearts of even more fans of Descendants of Zombies that I have yet to meet. And you know something? That makes me even more excited about the future of having everything to do with Freya, Skye, and Clarke because given how many fans I've already had a profound honor of meeting, I still have so many wonderful fans that I have yet to meet. And if you are somebody who has never subscribed here to this YouTube channel, hopefully by the end of this video, which is actually only 5 minutes away from now, hopefully you will hit my subscribe button because I record up to 3 or 4 podcasts every day. There's always something new and innovative being uploaded here on this YouTube channel. And I really put a heart and a half into every video that I've ever recorded. Because when it came to reviewing songs like Gold's Gone and Silent Treatment, it's one thing just to state your opinion and make it known for everybody. But when you put your heart into every video, a fan can really know and can really appreciate, can find time in appreciating you putting your heart into every video. And I've really had the time of my life recording with you my thoughts on Freya, Skye, Clarke, and all your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars and representing them for the way they've forever and always been meant to be represented. And how people should really dedicate so much of their life to being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Because if you've never taken a chance on these franchises, now has never been a better time to take full advantage of these franchises and what they've represented. Messages of kindness, hope, second chances, one finding true love for everybody. Because I don't care who you are, everybody deserves a chance to make the most of every opportunity and every dream they've ever had in this lifetime. And I felt more than honored to be a part of your dreams, to be a part of what you've loved, and to have represented you as your voice of Descendants of Zombies, because you guys did something for me that you don't even probably ever realize. You gave me a chance to be a voice of this franchise. You gave me a chance to represent my favorite characters and all the moments that made me a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I got to share that with each and every one of you. So from my heart to yours, I would just like to simply say thank you so much, because I can never seem to have enough time to say thank you to every fan of Descendants of Zombies who have been with me from the very beginning. I have been a hero to a lot of fans of Descendants of Zombies for what feels like forever, for those of you who have been subscribed here to this YouTube channel for a very long time. And if you're somebody who believes that forever is a really long time, then perhaps you should continue on believing that while pursuing your dreams. Because we never have enough time in this lifetime to make the most of every opportunity we're given, nor seize every opportunity that we're given. And I would like to believe that some way or somehow somebody feels just as passionate about Descendants of Zombies out there, collecting dolls, drawing your favorite characters, making your own videos from your perspective about Descendants of Zombies, because very few people can bring these franchises to like I've been able to, nor commentate on Descendants of Zombies, because if you notice anything about these videos that are being uploaded, most of them are just AI, because nobody really knows how to commentate on Descendants of Zombies and share insights and predictions and theories like I have for the last at least 10 years. I've been involved with the Descendants franchise for over at least a decade, for the better part of a decade, or at least half of that decade, and even 5 years is a really long time, because a lot can happen in 10 years, and we've seen a lot happen for these franchises in 10 years. The best of them come and go. Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, which eventually became Kylie Contrell, Malia Baker, and Ruby. I call her Rube because Ruby is my favorite Descendants character of all time. I love the color character pink and her color scheme. Everything was just so vibrant about her. And she really demonstrated how much life is sweeter when all of us are. Guys, seriously, thank you so much for believing in this YouTube channel as much as what you have. I know for a fact, most certainly, I would not be here if not for each and every one of you giving me the chance that you did and receiving me as your voice of Descendants of Zombies. I had no idea how I was going to achieve acceptance in the Descendants of Zombies universe, but I eventually would go on to become something far greater than I ever imagined that I would be as a YouTube creator, because this was the greatest honor of my life. And I've talked about everything from pro wrestling to professional sports to entertainment to pop culture related content, which eventually became Descendants of Zombies, because I always had a passion for Descendants of Zombies. I always had this passion for Disney I wanted to showcase. And I had that chance, and I got to experience it with each and every one of you. And you guys give me more incentive than perhaps ever before that I've ever received to be a part of something special. I got a chance to be a part of something special because of how much you guys believed in me and you believed in Descendants of Zombies, which I hope you will continue to do in that foreseeable future, because there is one coming for Descendants of Zombies. For those of you who have believed in a future for forever with all of your heart, but Descendants of Zombies, then perhaps you should continue on believing in that, because we still got a long way to go, because this story is far from over, and I've never wanted to let go. I've had this issue with saying goodbye to franchises long before their time, and I've never wanted to let go of it, and that's precisely why this YouTube channel has become everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. We are out of time for now, but I will be back just after sunset tonight, and I invite you to join me for another conversation that will probably have about Freya, that will probably have about Skye, that will probably have about Descendants of Zombies, because we still got a long way to go, because this story is far from over. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I, of course, am your host, the best host of all, the host with the most, Jonathan Clarke. Thank you so much for believing in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, and thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. It's been my honor to create all this relatable content for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, and we will talk again as I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for representing and loving Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, and thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. Thank you so much for watching this video.